We have a problem,
I gotta
Houston.
rip that out.
I want to say this much. Do not touch that. So, that's why we run a water test. I got leakage. Got leakage on this side. And on this side, just set up this bucket over here.
1, 2, 3, come on!
Come on!
This fixture here that I put in, I pretty much got it for free. And there's nothing wrong with it, obviously. Except for bulbs nowadays come in T8. And this fixture here, and the ballast that's in it, is for T12 bulbs. So when I went to put in my UVB lights, which are T8, the fixture didn't work. Now, I got them installed down here. Now this is a T8 fixture. And you can see both bulbs work just fine.
I gotta rip that out.
Alright, moment of truth here. Only way I can test this is messing with this timer and getting this to kick on. It just went off, so I have to kind of go around the whole way. And, well, lights are on. That's on. And, oh, they're on. They're on. Alright, the moment of truth is about to be coming. Get the 5-gallon bucket filled with water. And I'm going to dump it into here to see if I am waterproof. Thing I forgot to mention is when I built all this on top of Igor, his pen, is that the sides and the back completely sit on top of these rails, which are completely supported. Every 16 inches, I got 2x4s running upwards, one flat on the concrete, and then this, and that goes along the whole back and on these sides and everything around here. Here comes the water test. Let's see if it holds water, guys. Time to look and see if we got any bubbles coming up from a leak. And right now, I have to say I'm pretty impressed on how level I actually got this for how the water level is in here. Well, so far I don't see any bubbles forming coming up, so that's a good sign. I'm just going to have to wash this for a little bit and see if we have any leaks. Maybe I'll leave this for a few moments and come back in maybe a half hour and see if any of the water's gone. So, that's why we run a water test. I got leakage. Got leakage on this side, and on this side, just set up this bucket over here. So I brought out my cordless Milwaukee fan to try to dry up the rest of this water. Alright, so after after my massive leak, I re-siliconed everything on the bottom. So that's really where water may or may not sit, since it will be lava rock on the bottom with soil on top as a drainage layer. And the excess water, I want to make sure it doesn't seep out the edges. My 5-gallon bucket water test showed my leakage, and it was pretty much from here to here, that whole corner, and then not really the corner itself, but somewhere in here. So I said, screw it. Drained out all the water. Had my fan running on it. Heat lights going. And made sure everything was nice and bone dry. Got another 2 tubes. 2 tubes of 100% silicone. And put 2 tubes of silicone on this whole bottom, probably about, I don't know, 14 inches or so up, maybe 16 inches. Kind of wanted to say I didn't want to go higher than this, because soil is not going to be higher than that. But I didn't rip out the old silicone because it might be adding something, but I heavily coated on top of it. What? Same with like what I did in this corner here. I mean, God, you can see how thick that is. So, yep, that's it, and we will see next time I get around to testing this stuff if it holds water or not. Alright, so measured this out slightly. I'm going to use these couple of edging bricks underneath the cement tub, which would be the water source, to raise it up a little. So I'm thinking I'm gonna fill in lava rock approximately the thickness of these edging blocks. So that should be, I don't know, 4 inches or so, about 4 inches thick of lava rock on the bottom, and then top it all off with the what will be my mixture of topsoil, sand, and sphagnum moss as a big mixture with some mulch, cypress mulch mixed in, more on the bottom layers. We'll see how that goes. Obviously, it's still holding water for the past couple days. Some of it's evaporated just from the heat, but we're holding water now, so the silicone worked after I really went crazy with the silicone. So, on to the next. Alright guys, this is the red lava rock is in. This is 4 bags of red lava rock. And you can see it's pretty much only barely 1 rock deep in there. There's the green, the floor, literally a rock to 2 rocks deep. But it's just enough where it'll create a drainage layer, and if the birdie or any animal in the future decides it wants to dig, I don't have to worry about it really digging the bottom board, which does have dry lock on it, and it's pretty tough stuff, but don't have to worry about it digging and scratching it up with the rock in the way, hopefully. So now to start doing the rest of my layers. So I got to thinking, how can I make my substrate, my topsoil, sand, and sphagnum moss mixture not just fall through the lava rock? So I took one bag of 100% cypress mulch or cypress mulch and spread that out so it kind of creates a screen so my topsoil and substrate that is finer won't just fall through to the bottom, kind of gets stopped by the wood, and also creates a extra little layer so when I have plants in that, and there would be a nice little carbon layer to hold any nutrients. Plus, once I have the worms and that in here, they'll love going through and digging through all this stuff. That dust clear a little. That is dusty. So I started by mixing things in a 5-gallon bucket, but that was just taking too long. I was trying to mix like half a barrel or half a 5-gallon bucket of topsoil, a quarter of it sand, another quarter of it sphagnum peat moss, mixing it by hand, dumping it in, and that was just taking way too long. So I said, you know what, screw it. So I threw in half a bag of sphagnum peat moss, kind of halfway spread it out. I put in half a bag of my 70-pound bag of sand, all-purpose sand, kind of letting that dust die down. Then I'm just going to throw on my topsoil, and as I put in the topsoil bag by bag, I'll just be mixing it by hand and maybe throw in the other half a bag of sphagnum peat moss too as I go, and mix it all in. So it should have a nice base for any type of plants that I want to plant in here, whether they are any sort of cacti to, I'm thinking I might do some rosemary in here because it's a tougher plant and hopefully the beardy won't destroy it. I'm thinking something like aloe, maybe some hen and chicks, maybe some prickly pear. I don't know. I'm trying to bounce some ideas around what I might grow in here. I know I'm going to grow some lettuce, some basil, some chia, and as he eats it. Not too worried. Gonna get a nice big rock to put here. I'm gonna have it set up on top of the lava rock, so he can't really dig under it and can't crush him. I kind of got a clear spot. And a big rock, so it'll be a nice hot rock for him to be on, because it'll be right by the water. So, alright, so got the dirt in. Have 4 bags of topsoil, half a bag of sphagnum moss, and because it was a really big bag, or peat moss I should say, and 1 bag of sand, mixed together by hand like this, you know, kind of mixed it in. I'm trying to decide if I want to go and get more bags of topsoil to add to it, or if I'm just going to put in the other half of the peat moss to add to it to raise this up a little higher. Because I kind of wanted it to be, almost see this line here? This line is 10 inches. So I kind of wanted it to be another 4 inches or so higher. Because right now I'm probably at about 4 to 5 inches of soil and about 1 layer deep of lava rock, which is an inch or so thick. But I gotta test out how the tub fits in there, fill in the gaps around it so he doesn't want to dig. I might throw some rocks or something to try to stop him from trying to dig under it, even though it can't really collapse on him with these bricks that are on the bottom. You have to dig down here so I could put in some rocks for being under his basking area, and try to do a little landscaping and figure out where I want plants. But that's where we're at right now. And I'm gonna continue on this and keep building it up until I get the look that I'm looking for. And then once I get the water tub in, I'll have to notch out my window for the cord to come out. It's the only one that's gonna have a cord that's not gonna be hardwired in. So I can actually physically remove the pump in that if I needed to. But figure the waterfall's in the back, pump over here, run it, run a little hose, have it all hidden, you won't even see it. Let's see how that goes. This one was one of my favorite rocks. Yeah, it just brought it out. It has snow on it still. But I mean, look how cool this thing is. Looks like it has wood grain or whatnot in it. Alright, so I just went and grabbed a few more rocks and see if I like any of them. Alright, well, decided just to add the rest of this bag because I'm probably going to add more topsoil anyway, so here goes the rest of the peat moss. Forgot to mention this earlier because I have in the past lost animals to rocks not being placed on the bottom, or let's say right now I have lava rock on the bottom on top of the lava rock or something, because if you have a rock, this guy's fairly little, but I've had lizards on big rocks, like a big almost like mini boulder. What would happen is that they would dig, and as they were digging, this would give way and fall in like a trap behind the back of their neck, or back of their head on their neck, and me find out like the next day that they were dead because they suffocated because they could not get out because the rock fell on them. That's why that rock there is all the way down and on the bottom, and it kind of is at a V shape. This rock is up against it, touching the bottom over in this corner. Now this rock's on top right now. I'm not sure where I'm going to place it. Maybe I might do something with this over by the waterfall area. Same with this rock over here. I'm not sure what I want to do. And I did have them, you can see how long it is. Did have it buried in a little bit, but I don't know if I like it or not. I might use it over in the waterfall area once again. These are all touching on the bottom. You saw me earlier dig out so I can get that in. I want that as much as I can on the bottom. That's on the bottom, this slate one. It's nice and perfect size to fit in there. I might fill the rest of these little crevices in with lava rock. And same on that back side, I might put lava rock or something in there to keep them from wanting to get into it. I'm just saying lava rock, 1, it's a lightweight. 2, it's pretty inert, and you know, it does have a nice little look to it in this type of setting. I'm thinking I might use this over here, as it actually fits perfectly in this little wedge here. For when if he decides to get in his water, which my bearded dragon loves going in water. Like, he'll go around, swim, he'll sit in there and let guppies or whatever fish nibble on his dry scales or whatever. His shed, I should say. So, it'll be a little way for him to be able to get up and out if he needs to. Right now, just trying to map out what I'm going to do. I have a special surprise that's going to be going over here. It's a special surprise. You guys will like it. This will be kind of a planted area. Thinking I might do a rosemary in the corner over there. Even though it is on the darker side, I might have to tweak some things. Maybe I'll put the rosemary a little closer up front. But I want something, the bigger, taller plants like rosemary and that in the back to give that depth. Pile it up. Maybe find some sort of vine or ivy that is edible that I can have grow in here, so in case he decides to nibble on it, but it could grow up on it and create a cool little feature. Well, until next time.